Hi, I'm Luke from Average Athlete, and this video is supported by QuickTimeManagement.com. They strive to make you healthy and productive for the long haul, avoid burnout, and keep you productive throughout your day with check-ins and notifications that remind you to get away from your computer for micro breaks to energize your body and mind. Go to QuickTimeManagement.com, and thanks for supporting the channel. Today we're looking at round 3, the final round of the Sizzling Summer Series. Always very good to say quickly that one. The turnout this round is actually a bit smaller. There's a few events on and it's wet, as you can see. So I'll start off by apologising first by two things. One, I kept on adjusting the camera up and down a little bit. Couldn't get it 100% right. Plus there's a few camera wipes as well, so the water tries to stay off of it, which on the whole does a pretty good job, to be honest. So it's the usual. This one's 35 minutes plus 3 laps. To be honest, I'm working for this guy in front of me. We kind of had... Actually, before I get into that, if any of the volunteers are listening, definitely a big shout out to them. A lot of these cycling events definitely can't happen without the volunteers, first aiders, volunteers, packers up, all the rest, officials, commissars, directors, all the people. But yeah, very heartfelt thank you. And we can always use more of them, that's for sure. So yeah, where was I? Alright, so getting back to the race itself. The guy on the front, he's the race leader at the moment. And then I've got my teammate, unofficial teammate, Nick behind me. So we had kind of two plans for this race. Oh no, Nick's in front of me, sorry. Had two plans for this race. One being try to get Nick to the front, to the finish first, while I try to police anybody I can. So you'll see in this race mainly what I do throughout the race is what you'd call policing. Any guys that try to go away, I try to jump on them, bring them back easy. If there's a bit of a sprint or an increase in speed, I try to keep it maintained and make sure our sprinter Nick is in a good spot. And yeah. And our second objective for this race was actually the race leader at the moment. We'd want him to either come second or, failing us not going well, we would actually want him to come first because he's still part of the Logan Cycling Club as well. That plan obviously wasn't discussed with him, as I don't know. Maybe Nick had a chat to him about that one, but yeah, in our mind too, yeah, that was our plan B. Our plan A was to get Nick in the front and win, because he was down by, I think it was 2 points compared to the leader. And yeah, and Lachlan will try to get, which is the race leader, Lachlan try to, either come second or, failing Nick doesn't have the legs today, push him up to in the first. One thing I was actually very happy about in this race, it's the first race of this series that I actually feel healthy. I actually felt like I cycled my normal form. I could actually pull on the front for a while, could police, could do everything I normally could do. And that's because, one, I'm not haven't been sick anymore, and 2, my asthma feels like it's pretty much under control, which I've been trying to get under control the last 2 or 3 weeks, to be honest. Very painful. Yeah. The pace is quite high in this one. Not compared to the other rounds, mainly because the pack isn't as big and it is a bit wet. So on the whole, everybody was actually pretty sensible in this race, to be honest. I was a bit wary going into this race just because of how slippery it could have been. But everyone was being sensible, taking corners normally pretty wide. Not doing anything that's silly, I would say. Like, everyone's keeping their lines nice. Yeah, but there was no accidents, so that's a big plus, obviously. Everyone wanted to go home or go to work the next day. The weather was actually pretty nice. It was probably in the mid-20s, I think it was, or low 20s, which suits me a lot, to be honest. I really like lower temperatures. So here's Nick going up the road a little bit. And there's actually, from memory, so here goes a guy off the front. And me attempting to police him a bit, which he's pretty strong, gets a good gap. This corner is actually pretty quick, and lots of people are slowing down for it quite a bit, which great idea. So this number 3 on the left that we just overtook, in my head, I think I had him as a second or third, tied for second or third with Nick, but I honestly should have checked. So he's one of the riders that I kind of mark a bit, same with Lachlan, who's currently coming first. And I try to save my energy and don't really pull if I don't have to. You probably see that a fair bit throughout the race. You'll see somebody will go to the front, I'll tag on behind them, and they might flick their elbow 2 or 3 times for me to come past, and normally after 2 or 3 I normally come past and do a short pull, but I'm trying to save my energy for the next breakaway. We definitely do have some good, strong riders in this group. It's number 7. It's actually quite good. Bit of a spoiler, he gets a preem. Gets away from the group. From memory, I think I could have probably had a crack at chasing him. I probably wouldn't have got the preem anyway, but there was a possibility there. But I could have possibly chased him. But I wanted to save my legs. Alright, so here the group's caught up again. And we're letting these guys have a good go. So if anyone slows down too much, you kind of want to at least keep up a bit of pace. These 2, number 5 and 6, they're actually quite strong, can pull pretty well together. And you definitely see that throughout this race. I remember actually one of the riders. There we go. There goes Lachlan, coming past quite a pace. I think I'm pretty comfortable going around these corners pretty quickly, especially in the wet. I don't know if it's because I'm used to have a motorbike background beforehand and a dirt bike background as well, so dirt bikes especially, you don't really have traction on your rear tyre a lot of the time, especially when you're coming out of corners. So you kind of get used to, yeah, just not having traction in the bike doing interesting things. But yeah, as long as your front wheels got traction, you know me pretty good, to be honest. As I was saying, so I remember one of our guys after this race was talking about there's a bit of an iffy moment, and I'm actually interested to see coming up, of when B grade comes past us and overtakes us, whether it's a clean overtake or not. The weather actually looks a lot worse than it actually is. It's drizzling, but outside, but it's mainly just because the course is wet that the camera is getting so wet, to be honest. So here's one of our friends on the right, actually, Corey. She's always happy to ride with us and do the right thing and help out when he can. Not just in the race, but outside of the race too, volunteering. So my training as well for the last 6 weeks, to be honest. 6 weeks. Ever since I've been sick, it's been pretty off and on. The last probably week before this race, I actually felt pretty normal, and the numbers were actually making sense again. Especially the harder efforts. Even with my asthma issues, I can normally do your zone 2 type of stuff all day long, doesn't matter. But as soon as I start pushing, let's say zone 4 and above, anything above that sweet spot zone, then yeah, my lungs really paid for it. Normally go to shit. So I actually started measuring my lung output with something called a flow meter, which is a good gauge of how good my lungs are on the day, to be honest. If my medication's actually working or not. And yeah, to be honest, it's when I was actually feeling better after being sick, I measured it the first time and it was about 50% short of what it should be for an adult of my age and size, basically, height and size. No, height and age, sorry. So then a few days of taking my medication a bit more regularly and properly, it was still short of... actually, I think it was a whole week that I was taking it. It was still short of being what it should be, but it's still a lot closer. which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I'd highly recommend to somebody with asthma one of these flow meters for, I think it was like $20. I should have bought one when I was a teenager, to be honest. Of course, not giving doctor's advice. Always talk to your doctor about that type of stuff, especially if you got a asthma specialist. Another thing I did just before this race, literally the day before, was, since I've got a new bike as of, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago now, I've got a very beautiful Specialized Tarmac. SL7 is actually lowered the front, lowered the handlebars to pretty much match my old bike, and I also put the old stem on my bike too, which is actually a bit longer than the current one. I'm guessing this was the preem lap, because yeah, he did very well getting off the front there. Yeah, we're about halfway. There, here's me marking number 3. So yeah, with lowering my handlebars and putting them out a bit further in front, it's actually more comfortable for myself, I found. I felt actually I was a bit bunched up when I was riding on it. Maybe because it was so much shorter and so much higher compared to my last bike. So yeah, it should be a bit more aero now and definitely more comfortable. You'll see I'll let number 3 go off the front a bit. I don't mind letting people go by themselves. Like if one person goes off the front, I normally just let them, to be honest. Normally when you got a pack of people that's dedicated, you can chase them. Myself, I normally, if I'm racing, not with teammates, sometimes I'll go off the front just for a bit of a tester, a bit of fun, see who comes with me. Especially if the group slows down. I have a bad habit of that too. Sometimes I should be resting instead of pretty much counter-attacking over the front. There we go. Nick gave me a friendly wave. Thanks, Nick. So here we are, just sitting on not a lot of power, but just nice steady speed. What are we sitting on, 40 k's now? Beautiful. Seeing if anyone wants to come past. Lachlan back on the front again. Lachlan does do a lot of work in this race from memory as well. Which, to be honest, I think I would have to ask him why he felt like he had to sit on the front. I think my, because I've been racing with this group as well for a couple races, I think my racing radar, if you would call it, racing radar, was actually pretty good. because I was feeling fit and healthy. So, you know, for instance, we're going pretty slow now, so I'm like, yeah, there'll be an attack soon because nobody's really pushing. Plus, what are we up to? Up to about 20 minutes into the race too, so we got arguably about 20 left at the most. And as usual, most races start and finish the same. Okay, so that's what he was talking about. There's a B grader, and there's one of our C graders. And B grade's coming past as we speak. There we go. So we're all neutralising. That's why we're going slow. So even B grade isn't really that big. Compared to previous weeks too. Pretty much the same as C. So we're still kicking it pretty easy, to be honest, because B grade's just in front of us. And then we have the other rider that's now in front of B grade. You can see him just going around the corner there. So there goes. Is that number 6 or number 9? I should know. He should be number 6 because I think I'm number 9 in this race. Chasing after the rider in front. Which is fair enough, but B grade's kind of in front of us. Probably I mean, do we give... I don't know what the rules are supposed to be here, to be honest. I know we're supposed to neutralise not so close to Bs because then we're pretty much just tagging on them for the entire race. Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, when I'm looking at it, I go, why? And probably the guys in front of me and behind me are thinking the same thing. Should we chase this guy, considering we have to neutralise? Or should we try and chase back and tell B grade to hurry up? Or I don't know how it works. So yeah, if somebody could enlighten me, that'd be ideal, to be honest. Tell you what, this number 3, pretty much the last lap. I think it's a lap and a half to go. He does a massive pull on the front, very strong pull. I know because it pops me off the back. If I held in for, I don't know, 5 more seconds I would have been alright, but yeah, I just couldn't, to be honest. Again, he's saying come past, flicking his elbow, and I'm just looking at it going, B grade's just there. got a little pull, but yeah. See, backing off the power pretty much already. Oh no, it's gone back up again. I believe I'm flicking my elbow here. There you go. Corey comes past. There's Lachlan. I think Corey skids a little bit though. I remember him telling me when he comes past, but I think Lachlan was just in the way to see it, because you see him kind of on one side then over the other one. He told me after the race that it scared the absolute crap out of him basically, which is fair enough. Some of the tyres aren't ideal for racing in the wet, that's for sure. You'll see some of the guys with pretty much slicks. I don't know how they do compared to cars, but I don't know if they're aquaplane a little bit. I know I run Victoria courses, and they've got strips down the middle, so at least they should throw a little bit of water out of the way. But if you're on complete slicks, which some of the tyres are, yeah, I don't know how much grip you would have, to be honest. I don't think a lot. Again, somebody want to enlighten me? Definitely comment below. So here we're still a rough distance behind B's, and then I think the two C grade riders are together now from that very distant video. Oh yeah, I think. Could be wrong. So ideally they pretty much just have to stay out the front for 10 more minutes. Again, if they had a smaller group like we do today, be easier to do. Yeah. Lachlan on the front again. He is doing a lot of turns. Big kudos to him. And Nick too. And our strong number 7. So I don't know how many started this race and actually finished this race with us. I know probably, I think we had 9 riders to start with. Yeah, and maybe 1 or 2 dropped off. So all in all, pretty good. I don't normally watch these completely start to finish, but this one I'm actually kind of enjoying. I hope you don't mind me rambling. Let me know if it's actually good or bad. That's what the comments are for. Or if you just prefer to watch the race and not hear me talk about possibly the race. So yeah, Nick doing a turn on the front. I don't know how our 2 friends are doing in front, just because we've been sitting behind our people. Big sprint, big power. So slow down a little bit to make sure Nick's behind me. And we're motoring along again. But yeah, number 3, he's got a good kick on him. Still powering through. We're sitting on almost 50 k's an hour now, and we're normally doing low 40s through here. Very strong. With this course too, I actually really like this section. a bit more technical, as in you got to slide uphill, so it favours the slightly lighter guys. Plus you got some half decent corners. There's the two off the front. So yeah, especially in the wet, because everyone wants to be safe, obviously. But yeah, I actually like this little corner setup, and the cones really help. As usual, try to avoid the white lines if you can, if you're trying to corner hard into them. They are very, 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 very slippery. So yeah, I don't know how far behind the other guys are off of those two. So they put in a very hard dig there. So from memory in my head too, these two are actually working together, the two that are not off the front, but these two just in front here. I don't know if they actually were or not. But yeah, they're both very strong, very quick. And thanks to our friend just in front of us here, I think it was number 11. Keeping the pace high, very fast. Catching them back up again. Yeah, my heart rate's really high too. Good work, number 11. Friendly bloke too. I was talking to him slightly afterwards, but yeah, nice and friendly. See, those two are just in sight now, but everyone's pretty much not given up, just because they're cooked from that fast effort. See, now we're slowed down. I think these guys spotted it a bit earlier than I did. That realised that these two off the front are quite a bit ahead. It'd probably take more than just two people to chase them down, to be honest. It'd probably take all of us, just because they got quite a few seconds. I had a guess, like, it's probably about 10 seconds, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you're trying to chase somebody down, what are we doing? At least 40 k's an hour. It's very hard. And still in my head, I'm thinking number 3 is coming second or third already on the series podium. Well, drawing second and third. Same with Nick, my teammate, and then Lachlan's coming first. So even though I kind of keep the pace high, I'm not really trying to chase these guys in my head, which hindsight I probably should have, to be honest, because they're pretty close. Yeah, I reckon, within 10 seconds. Should get the old stopwatch out and count for the corners, but yeah, give or take 10 seconds. I didn't really hear any chatter in this race. Sometimes when you got a breakaway or whatever, or you're trying to communicate with the team, you hear a bit of chatter, like, come on guys, we've got these two up the front, let's try and chase them, such and such. We really got to put in an effort, let's all have a go each, and then we'll be more competitive. Something like that. I don't think I heard anybody talking during the race, to be honest. I think I got the thumbs up from Nick and that was about it. Yeah. So yeah, we've got 3 laps to go now. These guys are just off the front, pretty much on the back of B grade by the look of it. Or caught up to near being on B grade. Which is surprising, you'd think B grade would be going a bit faster than us. But they could also be in front of them too. It's hard to tell from such a distance. I think Nick actually had the same idea as I did. Like, he's not doing a lot of effort on the front. Not really interested in... At least he didn't say anything about chasing them down. But yeah, they got a good lead now. We didn't even see him coming around this corner. We had 10 seconds last time, roughly. Now they've got a bit more of a lead. Yep, 2 laps to go. Lachlan's still on the front. Long turn on the front. We're not sitting super quick either. It's number 7. Nice and strong. So I had to guess they probably got another couple seconds on us, the leaders anyway. And that's a big pull for number 7. Great effort. Here, I know I'm doing a bit more of a pull than I probably would like to. Could have gone faster, could have gone slower as well in the same respect. Here goes number 3. This is the big pull I was talking about last time. That I remember him doing. Very strong. I think because I could have got just a bit quicker in front of Lachlan. So there we go. Sitting on almost 50 k's now through here, which is brilliant to be honest. Very quick, very strong. Heart rate's too high. And then I'm cooked and done from memory. I just couldn't hold on going up that hill anymore. And popped out the back. So we didn't have anyone else behind me that actually finished, I don't think. They quote me if I'm wrong. They do catch up to number 7, which is just in front, which they catch up to shortly. They do not catch up to those 2 that were off the front. For the last 15 minutes or so. And he actually gets, I think his name was Daniel actually. He actually gets to take off because he finished first. Nick came, I think, 3rd. I'd have to look at where Lachlan came, but I'm not sure. So he actually came first in the series, Daniel, the one off the front. And then Nick came 2nd, Lachlan came 3rd. So It went to a plane. I don't know if it went to the plane. But was good racing, a bit of good fun. Very friendly bunch. And well, I get to celebrate up here for a minute just because this is round 3 of the final round of this series, and this is the first race I actually finish. Little kudos to myself for actually finishing a race. But especially thanks for all the volunteers. Thanks for the races coming out, having a bit of fun, keeping it safe, keeping it fast. And good work, everybody. There's the finish line. Beautiful. I would highly recommend everyone join in next year for the series. Come along. Thanks, everyone. Do the usual. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks.